really believe that Moriarty is in there, behind that fence?
Something in the wind seems to suggest it, Watson.
I have a peculiar acid taste in my mouth, if that is what you mean, Holmes.
Well, yes. The air is tainted still with toxic fumes from the factory chimneys.
I believe that I read about this place. The funfair was abandoned after the factory was built so close by. It was said that even the ice cream tasted bitter. Aren't you curious about the warehouse down there? There seems to be some strange activity taking place inside.
Strange and in keeping with Moriarty's activities. Let us go and see what they're up to. That could be used as a weapon in a necessity.
With this cable car, we can get up onto the warehouse roof.
Vodka. There's a little at the bottom of these bottles.
Russian alcohol. Holmes, the three brothers.
Cutting pliers. They could be useful.
There is a metal ladder stuck under the cable car. A bottle of motor oil.
A crank. This motor is from the cable car. Empty. Judging by the smell, I would say that it's an oil reservoir. Let us hope it works. There's a little petrol left, but not enough to start the motor. Here's what we can use for fuel. The crank is in place.
It works.
We are going to separate. I will find a way into the fair, and you must investigate the warehouse.
Very well, I'll do that.
There is no one on the roof. If the machine should get out of control, then just use the brake. There ought to be one.
I should hope so. Anyway, there's no other choice. And when I've found out what is going on down there, what should I do then?
Come and join me in the fairground. You can follow my route to get over the fence. Then you should find me easily enough. Good luck, my dear fellow.
Come on, John. Courage! No one seems to have noticed me. Now I must try to find out what is going on here. It's a miracle that this reservoir is standing. The feet are being eaten away by rust. Carts from the soup kitchens. They appear to be queuing up. The bags contain rubble. They're tied up with good solid rope. I'll keep the rope. It's too dark inside this reservoir. It's impossible to see anything, but I can hear a slight lapping of water. A large dry cloth. I must find out what is going on inside this warehouse, but have to be careful. The place is full of guards. The window is too dirty to allow me to see inside. It's too dangerous to go any further. An empty bottle. So, it is inside these warehouses that Prince Woodville's canteens on wheels are filled up, and Hans is there to add his poison. That siren is a signal to open the doors and let out the carts of poisoned soup, destined for London. I wonder what Holmes is doing at this moment.
Here is a good place to try and get through. The way is clear. Good, I'm in. Now I must find Moriarty. A target from a firing range. A telephone line. Interesting. It comes from that large building. A target from a firing range. It depicts a lion. The stand's owner must live here. The stand's accounts book. Let's look at the book's secret. Secret accounts. The stand's owner must do something other than manage a simple coconut shy, and there is a strange poem about animals. It's the stand's till. There is no money, but there is a wooden target. Let's see. firing range for children. They have to throw leather balls at the figures of wild animals to knock them over. It's clear that there is a link between the poem in the secret accounts and the animal-shaped targets on the stand. It seems to me that there is something behind this poster, but it is stuck fast. Elementary. There is a hiding place here. Interesting. I am missing some information. I can't see a keyhole to open this hiding place. There we are. It is simplicity itself. The stand's slush fund. I wonder what happened to the owner that he should leave without his savings. If the guard sees me, he will sound the alarm. I must neutralize him, but discreetly. There are probably others, and a fight would attract their attention. It's open. This building was a menagerie. I'm in the service passage. Oh, what a smell. There must have been wild animals here once. I pity the animals that were shut up in here. The cages are very narrow. This cage has been blocked with planks, so that the interior is hidden from view. Old bandages. A key. A large syringe for animals of a considerable size, evidently. Everything points to that cage having been used to treat sick animals. Apparently, it's a medicine chest for first aid, I presume. The only thing intact is this bottle of ether. If the guard sees me, he will sound the alarm. I must neutralize him, but discreetly. There. That should interest our guard. Good. My little stratagem is in place. All I need to do is to wait for him to come back here. I have to shut him up, and quickly. Perfect. Thanks to the ether, this baller will sleep for a long time. Another guard. This place is full of them. I cannot risk a confrontation. He'll see me coming, and I'll lose the element of surprise. I'll need to find a way to trap him. They must have exhibited those poor wretches in these cages and presented them as being dangerous. Bearded lady. Be careful of those boxes. They are balanced, one on top of the other. It would take very little to knock them over. People must have been locked up in here, and they are certain to have been mistreated. This cage is still occupied, not by one of the monsters, but by a poor man. He's still alive, but he's barely human now. Moriarty must have tested his poison on this poor fellow. If he was freed, he would leap at the throat of the first person he saw. The cage is held shut with this bar. It only needs to be pulled away to open it. This large, empty aquarium held the fair's main attraction, the mermaid, Poseidon's daughter. I suppose it was on this small stage that the monsters were presented to the public. Ah, here's something interesting. Hans's diary. What a dreadful diary. That Hans is the only real monster ever to have frequented this attraction. The bearded lady kept the key to this exhibition. Interesting. Here's what I've been looking for. I wonder what this machinery is used for. A rail system is fixed to the ceiling, and a hook is hanging from it. It must be used for moving heavy and bulky objects. The crank is in place. The hook is above the cage of this poor wretch. There, the rope is in place. This way I can open the poor fellow's cage from the outside without taking any risks. The trap is in place. Now I only need to get the guard to go inside the freak show. The guard must have been warned. I need to get out of here. The guard is inside. I must close the door quickly. Closed. I must find a way of neutralizing the guard inside.
Well, I'll be leaving you. I'm sure you have a great many things to do.
But what have we got here?
Ah, there you are, Holmes. Did you have any problems?
None, apart from a few small things. What have you found out about this warehouse?
Prince Woodville's soup is loaded and contaminated by Hans.
And in the direction of Whitechapel. Watson, in a few hours, Moriarty will have at his disposal a formidable army, more powerful and more terrible than anything that has ever existed.
But what?
The soup is destined for a poverty-stricken, starving population who have been conditioned for months against the ruling powers. Moriarty won't have any trouble in sending thousands of raving mad people to ravage the city, sowing death and destruction. No force would be able to resist them, not the police, not even the army. A perfect army, knowing neither fear nor pity. A tidal wave of humanity which will cover London and will fall away again, leaving a city of desolation behind it.
What horror! And the chaos will only make Moriarty's coup d'etat even easier. But how will he guard himself against this bloodthirsty crowd?
The chaos will only last for the time he needs.
You mean to say?
That these poor wretches will all die. 48 hours after ingesting the soup, according to our good Dr. Shielman. So the victims will be joined by their executioners. An immense mass murder. What Moriarty would call clearing up after work, no doubt. Good. Have you found a way of stopping Hans's process?
Yes, I think so. If we can weaken the reservoir's feet with the explosives, for example, It will collapse and take the building down with it.
Good work.
What are you looking at?
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Never.